I stopped off at the thrift store on the way home yesterday and came home with some new stereo equipment. What I was really looking for is old computer gear, like this old XT80 IBM compatible keyboard with the 5-pin big round connector on it, not PS2 or USB, because I have several motherboards that need this kind of thing. I found this for $3. So why not? It looks clean, it looks in good condition, all the keys feel solid and responsive, nothing's sticking. So I haven't tried it out because the computers I have, I don't even know if I have RAM and other such things to put a complete one together. I have to really look at everything, but now I have this, and this has the Windows keys, so this isn't the absolute oldest keyboard model, which probably explains why it's in good condition. It was probably one of the last of its kind to have this older connector, maybe when Windows 95 was coming out. So is that the brand? PC Accessories? Never heard of that. Model number. So I was very surprised and happy to find this for just a couple of dollars. Had to get it. And it was the only one there. All the rest had PS2 connectors. So when I get an old computer up and running and plug this into it, I'll go back eventually to my phone line simulator experiments with modems. And it's hard to get all this in frame, but while I was there near the electronics section, I found all of this. And I got the whole thing negotiated down to $25. It's basically two different collections of 8-track tapes with holders and a receiver with 8-track. So in this first portable case, we have a pile of 8-tracks. And it looks like there used to be maybe one of those plastic inserts to have the dividers. Obviously you can see the glue down there and where the outer covering is just roughly put there. But we have all these tapes. Village People, Weather Report. A lot of this stuff I have no idea what it even is. I know Cheap Trick. And this is a Radio Shack 8-track cleaner and demagnetizer cartridge. Catalog number 44630A. I never really had an 8-track player, but I had cassette tape head cleaners, and it was the same thing, this white cleaning material that runs along the playback heads. So you insert this, turn the volume down, you wait until it goes through all 4 programs, and then it's done. So I'll have to give that a try, probably as my very first step, if I plug this in and it works at all. And they also had this clearly 70s era thing that at a distance I thought, is that a record player? Because it was on a shelf and I couldn't see that it was actually narrow. It's a very, very retro 8-track compartment holder too. It looks like it holds 36 tapes. It's got the insert and it's fake velvety coated plastic. So some more stuff I kinda recognize. Melissa Manchester, Leonard Skinnard, Willie Nelson, Chicago, Chris Christopherson, Neil Diamond, Willie Nelson, America, Kiss, Cheap Trick, Eagles, Beach Boys, Queen. So this Willie Nelson, it looks like somebody spent $10.99 on this back in the summer of 1980. So I have no idea if these things will play back properly or whatnot, but I thought I gotta have this. Then there's the receiver with the 8-track player over here. Bass, treble, balance, volume, and function. Oh, it's a little loose. I think I'm gonna wanna take this apart and check out if everything's stable. We can, oh, it's got a phono input. Phono, AM, FM, tape, power, and then speakers, 2 or 4. It says 4D sound system. It's dark in here, so I actually have to use a flashlight. It has a tuning meter with AM and FM written on it. Oh, and there's 4 lights here for program 1, 2, 3, and 4 on the 8-track. The old-fashioned tuning knob, and a lot of dust. Morse Electrophonic. Never heard of it. Headphone jack. The power cord on it is a little bit iffy, so I'm gonna have to tape that and try it out. But yeah, I gotta check out what's going on with that. So I'm not exactly sure what this terminal is for. That's just kind of coming out here, because we do have AM and FM antenna connections. We have a ground here, which is probably for the phono. We have the 4-channel stereo. So here's the rear left and right, and we have main front left and right. And does this double as a record output? Disconnect built-in antenna leads before connecting an external antenna. It'd be nice if I had an instruction manual on this thing. There's the phono input. There's a model number, 2410 radio tape, code 279. Was this made in February of 1979? So, standard North American power source. This was printed in Canada. Yeah, 1970s receiver. Trying to figure out how to get this thing apart, it has all these huge Robertson square head screws with huge washers just thrown here and there on the bottom. And then it looks like this front area is where the chassis can pull out. But I don't have much workspace here, so I have to be creative about what I'm doing. So for now, I just wanted to really take a look inside. If I don't really need to rip it all apart, I'm not going to right now because this only wants to come this far. Then we have all the wiring going to the back panel. I'm not sure how this is meant to come apart. It looks like we have our AC transformer right here, and that's where that loose power selector is. Then it looks like we have the tuner section. This looks like a tuning capacitor. So as you turn the tuning dial on the front, that string will start moving, and the radio section's over here. There's a whole bunch of tuning inductors, and there's electrolytics all over the place. I wonder if they're any good. All these resistors, vertical cornrowing style, and they actually have some sort of an insulating material there so they don't touch other things nearby. It's kind of like part of the body coating extended on the wire. And it looks like there's the 8-track player. We have a motor and a belt-driven system. There's the radio antenna coil near the back end of all of this front panel stuff, and the mess of wiring behind it that is keeping me from pulling this out properly. And I don't really have enough workspace to lay things out so that I can get a good look, so I don't want to go too far. So for this loose power switch, it just looks intact here. I wouldn't be afraid of powering this up at this point. I would just want to see, is there a nut missing here, or what can I do? So I took the knob off and everything's there, the nut's there. It just looks like all I got to do is tighten that, so I'll see what I can do. These pliers fit in there perfectly with just enough room to open and grip, and now it's no longer rocking all over the place. So I flipped it over, and here's the top view. A lot more of the mechanical stuff from the 8-track. I see some kind of a solenoid here. There's the tape head, motor, the bottom side of that radio tuning section. So here's where the string for the tuner comes into play. You start moving the tuner and it will slowly turn that big wheel, and there's a tuning capacitor on the other side there. There's the front panel meter for the AM/FM signal strength. There's that AC transformer and that antenna tuning coil again. And all that wiring running to the back that I really don't want to mess with. So I'm just going to take a glance, see what I can see, and if everything looks okay inside. Then I'll put it back together and try it out. So I've put it back together, and I realize I should have probably sprayed a bunch of contact cleaner into the switches and pots. I don't exactly have any phono speakers to plug in, and I just want to see if it works, so I only care about one channel. So I plugged in one phono plug on a speaker front output, whichever one that is, and alligator clips over to this speaker that I have, and I just covered up those exposed twisted AC wires just for now to make sure they're separated, and I should be able to just try this out. So the AC is plugged in and I have the power bar switch. So I'll turn the power bar on, and now the power of the receiver. Okay, so the pot is very noisy. I probably should have sprayed this when it was open, but we have a nice retro power light on this tuning dial. It's set for AM, I think. And the tuner meter is moving as I go in and out of tune.
Yeah, here we are, the 12th of December, heading into the...
Or the award-winning Kia Sportage.
Okay, I put it on FM and I see this green stereo light.
We're gonna find out what they're up to in Sweden, how they sound.
And I put it on tape mode, so that'll be the 8-track. I guess it's hard to get reception in the basement with no actual antenna plugged in to route somewhere else. So, does the 8-track work? I should probably run the tape cleaner first. So, I don't know, how hard could it be? Just plug it in. I don't know what I have to push here. Okay. Oh, I hear it running. It's on the program too. So it sounds like it's got a running motor. So that tape cleaner's been going for a while, and the program skip button works. I can go between the 4 channels. I thought I would try some actual music now. This one's from 1977, but I don't want to get a you-know-what strike on the channel, so I'm just gonna try it out and let you know how it went. It's too bad this isn't an 8-track recording deck, because then I could put some YouTube-friendly music on here. So I'll put this cleaner away and see what happens.
With the classic silver.
You know what? That actually sounds good. Like this tape, it's not really muffled, all things considered, with one channel like this and face down. It sounds clear. It does not sound like it's hesitating and dragging, like everything's moving at the right speed. And the reason this is so astonishing to me is I had a dual cassette deck that I still have it. I went back and took some cassette tapes several years ago, maybe 5 years ago, and I thought I would sort through them and throw away whatever is no good. If I had anything rare, maybe I would dub it off onto an MP3. But it was all slow. Like it's a good thing it was a dual cassette deck, because one side was really hesitating and sounds like it was dragging the tape. I'd put it on the other side and it would be fine, but the tape quality was muffled, and I had a tape cleaner. I tried that. So this is impressive. Both mechanically the tape is intact and the unit is intact, both from the 70s. Not bad. Who knows, maybe I can keep this set up as a lab radio. The only unfortunate thing is, if I do want to use these 8 tracks, eventually they're going to wear out, whereas right now they are preserved in time. So, money well spent. You know what's stupid? This alligator clip is the only thing actually not working. Looks like I'm going to have to take that alligator clip apart and solder it. So everything else works. My stupid alligator clip doesn't work. Oh well.